Cancel the recording. Hello and welcome to Smash Writing. I'm your host, Justin. Who's not as enthused this time around. Ollie, take it away.
Didn't you have high hope for this?
I did.
We are talking about the Netflix released movie that happened yesterday. The
Army of the Dead.
Did a Zack Snyder film starring Batista.
Batista. I was excited for Batista. I think him and another one may have been the best part of this movie. Because I think Batista was acting in a whole other movie. Not this one.
This is...
Alright, let's go into what
ahead.
Army of the Dead is about. Army of the Dead is about a zombie outbreak that occurred when
In Las Vegas.
a military driving Encore, I'm thinking of the wrong word.
A convoy
of army vehicles were transporting what
one
they
zombie.
were. They didn't know it was a zombie, and they ended up crashing into a newlywed vehicle because the guy was
Getting a
head.
blowjob.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of funny.
No, it was dumb. How do you not see that car swerving?
I know.
It's dark. The headlights are on. You think you'd see the lights, like they're deep in their conversation about aliens, but it was a zombie that dodged a bunch of machine gun fire from trained soldiers.
As they label them as this was the Alpha.
Who's the alpha, whatever. You took over Vegas, and we got a slow montage of the Vegas people being overrun.
Being infected.
And the military.
Well, you know what? In part of that montage, the female cop, she shoots one in the head.
Yeah.
And it looks like she was about to do good, and then they just run her.
Well, yeah, that's what happens in these movies. Whatever, nothing matters.
Was the montage probably the best part?
No,
No.
it was not. But the montage ends with them successfully barricading Vegas off from the rest of the world.
With storage containers.
And the president announced that in 4 days' time, they're just going to nuke Vegas to deal with the zombies inside of it. But one of the casino bigwigs, I guess, hired Batista's team to go in and steal the $200 million.
But wait, there's more.
No, there's really not. There's really not. They get into the quarantine camps, and one of them wants to break in and steal money from slot machines. And
Everybody wants to get in there to steal before the money blows up.
that's pretty much what this movie's about. It's about Batista's team going in there to steal $200 million to make $50 million.
But we learned that the casino's owner doesn't want the $200 million. If he gets $200 million, it's a bonus because he already did the insurance claim.
Yeah, it's.
But he
money.
wants to get the Alpha Queen.
But did they know about the Alpha Queen? Because it didn't seem like they did when they got.
No, I think.
But then there was a side deal going on, so they had to have known about the Alpha Queen.
Yeah, I think because the generals were with the owner, so I think from that the casino owner wanted a zombie hit to maybe find a way to build their own undead army.
Yeah.
And sell it to the military, which he could have made bazillions and trillions. That was his overall goal, but he didn't want to tell Batista's crew that because that sounds like a suicide mission for them. Well, it's a suicide mission no matter what.
It's not how you're gonna air flight $200 million in cash on a shoddy broken helicopter.
Why did we honestly expect this to be?
Because of Dawn of the Dead.
Which is arguably Zack Snyder's best movie.
It's a shining star in the zombie movies. Because there's a lot of duds in the zombie
And I was
movies.
reading, they actually said many critics believe that was his best movie, period.
That may be. I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to argue that.
I would put Dawn in 300 as my favorite.
Yeah, but try watching 300 again.
It's been a couple of years, so I might.
Don't do it. No, Dawn is definitely his best movie. I'll say that. Yeah, Dawn is his best, and I think that's what. And then you had the acting of Batista.
Yeah.
He was a big guy. I wanted to see him just run roughhouse through the zombies. And with him wanting to be a serious actor, he could have had something really interesting to bite into. And he does. Batista's acting in this movie is good because I think he's acting in a whole other movie. Now, this movie doesn't do anything. Its best bits are taken from Dead Rising.
Explain, because so...
From the alphas to the fact that it's Las It's in the Las Vegas area, kind of like Dead Rising 2 was. You had the military with a secret agenda going in, and the alphas, the stronger zombies. This all just screamed like it was just taken from Dead Rising. I'd rather watch Dead Rising be remade with Dave Bautista as Frank West, so I can hear the lines, "I've covered wars, you know," coming out of Bautista. And fantastic. And it would be more fun just let him go and make crazy ass weapons. This movie didn't have anything interesting in it. I watched it and I couldn't, like, what is there to say? It's a movie. It's a zombie movie, and I mean, it's not the worst. It's not as bad as something like House of the Dead 2 was, but at least House of the Dead 2 was self-aware of how bad it is.
What got me to watch this movie, what came up with the idea of reviewing it, was, we spent a lot of time bashing Zack Snyder. But one of his best films, in both, like I said, in his list and in the zombie list, is Dawn of the Dead. So you were kind of thinking
I don't think I have that in my list.
Well, I'm saying in general, not particularly in your case. So you had a beat up actor going back to what made him a name and hoping it worked.
Who?
Zack Snyder.
That's director, not actor.
Director, sorry. You had him going back to his roots to direct a genre that he got high praise in. Then you had one of our favorites people, Bautista.
Batista.
We're big WWE fans. I
liked a lot of. I like the direction he's gone in his acting career.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything.
He wants to be known as more of a serious actor. That's why they put in that angle between him and his kid and him having to kill his wife.
And if this was any other film, I would be okay with that. But it didn't fit. It tried to fit. It just didn't.
It bogged down. This movie bogged down in stupid things. Montages and musical pieces, and it was too goddamn long.
2.5 hours.
This movie does so much to, we're a fun zombie killing movie, but then you had to stop things for montages or slow motion scenes that did not need to happen. Like Dietrich sacrificing himself to save Vanderhoe. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Vanderhoe.
Yeah.
And it was a slow motion scene of him pushing him in the vault, but I don't care about either of them. So not only was the slow motion ineffective, it was annoying, because now we got what is this movie? Why is this movie? There was one good thing they put in here, and they didn't put in here. It was part of the alphas. And that was Athena Parampil as the Alpha Queen. But then you beheaded her at the halfway marker, and you had her head in a bag. Why did you not make her the lead villain? She should have been the one leading the alphas. That would have been a better movie. Maybe not a better movie, but a better character than the guy riding on the zombie horse. Because her movements were awesome. She looked terrifying and scary, and you could have really ratcheted it up the whore with her. And having her just you could have had them talking and yelling or doing stuff. And then just in the background you see her just crawling around in the rafters, getting closer. And really done a lot of psychological stuff with her. But you didn't, because you went with the guy on the stupid horse.
As soon as the movie started, you kind of see what they were going with. They were going with a more funny, but then they wanted to be serious, and it just didn't work.
It felt like they had to go serious to get Bautista involved.
Yeah.
Because Bautista doesn't want to do junky action movies.
Right. And that's probably how they sold him on joining. First off,
I didn't care about any of them. I did not care about the people in the camp. I didn't care about
everything they did wanted to do seriously. You didn't care because there was no serious, there's no good character build up.
They could have really made something psychological here with the alphas.
It was one of those things where they had a good idea, but they didn't execute it. I think that's the prime example of this movie. And I'm not saying it's like Zack Snyder's fault, but I mean, you are in charge.
2.5 hour zombie movie.
And like I said, once again, you know, funny. He said this. You texted me this about how you believe a zombie movie should only be like no more than 100 minutes.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Dawn film was literally just 100 minutes. This one was 2.5 hours. Why? It wanted to be a serious film, but it had a funny storyline to it. Didn't work for me. You can't have both and expect it to work. Yeah, Dave Bautista was probably the best part, but like you said...
No, between him and... Well, I guess, because they dealt away with Athena. Oh, that was such a dumb move. She was such a cool character. The way she handled herself, her movements, and
honestly,
just such a cool character.
I just was.
But then you had that stupid little like romance thing with her and the other alpha. And why?
And another thing that I just thought of that was to me was a miss was the casino owner, that actor. He's a good actor. He played Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat film. He is a good actor, and he was in the film of 2.5 hours. What, 7-8 minutes?
Probably something like that, maybe a little less.
You kind of gotta get the most out of your talent, and Zack Snyder missed that opportunity.
I got his name down here somewhere. The guy they brought in to help with Martin. Martin, I guess is his name. The guy they sent in to watch over
the
that.
head of security.
He immediately ruined everything. And people didn't like the movie, but I loved Underwater for the fact that no one from the team was screwing each other over.
It was a team.
And it was all working to try to... If they had to sacrifice themselves to save everyone, they would, in a heartbeat. And you had that, but no one was outwardly trying to betray each other. And that's a good concept, which the moment you put that guy in here, you killed that hope.
And you knew there was
cliche. It just became the cliche was him screwing you over.
You knew it was happening too.
And it started right from the beginning. And you had that one woman who got locked in the room, but she managed to break out. She didn't need to die. I think her name was Gamble. She didn't need to die because there was more than enough space to get in there and get her. The guy has the machine gun. He could have just taken a few steps, cleared everyone out in front of her, and she could have came forward. Or she could have yelled, "Hey, that guy locked the door on me." And you could have ended it right there. She had enough time to tell them to run.
But she didn't have enough time to do something else. Now, another thing that made this movie tough to watch during the scenes was the pilot situation, which the character was played by Tiggs. She is a comedian. She replaced another comedian. That was fun. Okay, the controversy that surrounded Chris D'Elia.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. I understood what they were trying to do. However, just reshoot those particular scenes because there was only a small group of them that you could have reshot. Instead, they didn't edit out any of the other dialogue. They took Tiggs, made her do the same thing what Chris did, and took him out with CGI. And the dialogue made it so cringy to watch because, yeah, you can find the loopholes to discuss it and how they could go with it, but you know what happened, and that was she shot her scenes by herself with the CGI screen so they can take out Chris. And it showed because Bautista interacted with this character and he said he when it's a she. The loophole can be the gender neutral or, you know, whatever the situation may have been, but it wasn't. It's so cringy to watch those scenes. They could have just reshot those scenes and it would have been okay. Because it wasn't like the character was a big part, like, of all 2.5 hours, This character wasn't in all 2.5 hours of it. It was in maybe what, half an hour?
Maybe, yeah,
Maybe,
that
if
might
that.
be generous.
And right, that
Most
might
of it
have
was
been
spent with
generous.
her on the roof.
Exactly. And
I didn't mind it. It was whatever. It happened.
by this time, you kind of already seen all the stupidity of the film, and you didn't care. But that was just one, and I wanted to.
I did like her character. She didn't care about. Don't tell me. I don't want to know the job. Of $2 million in there. Love that.
I'm not
aspect.
taking nothing away from Tiggs playing the character. I'm sold on her playing the character. I'm just saying how they went about filming that was just horrible.
Yeah, what with the 2.5 hour thing? Like they could have cut all the other stuff.
Yep.
The one who broke in to steal from the slots.
Yep.
They could have cut her character and everything and saved time because it didn't matter.
And like I said, the whole
Like,
serious aspect.
Because
of the film.
the emotional heartstrings was just between Batista and his daughter Kate. And Kate, you could have just found another reason to get Kate inside or just set Kate inside.
Exactly. So, just because you succeeded in this area once before, many, many years ago, don't mean you should go back to it. So,
Well, I just have more of an idea of what you wanted to here.
so overall,
And him riding on the stupid horse was dumb. The zombie tiger was dumb. Like they ate the tiger. Is that what is going on? Or the alphas wanted something cool? Like
well, I will say that the tiger killing the Martin character was pretty good.
yeah.
The way the way the tiger was like biting his head off and throwing him around.
It could have just been a tiger, right? I mean, you have to be an undead tiger.
It had a cool look. God, this movie. Dude,
I'm giving it a C minus.
you're
Right, a
going
C
that high?
minus. I did like the parts with Athena.
Okay.
What little they were there. Batista was good. I don't know why we didn't get a harsh fight between him and the big alpha. We could have got that.
You know what? I'm honestly giving it.
I just, even the beginning, I didn't understand. Like, you have all these guys with machine guns. They couldn't kill the alpha.
Yeah, and they showed that guns can kill. So it didn't make any sense. There's too many plot holes. Me personally, I'm giving it maybe a D plus, and that's being generous. If there is a sequel, because they left it open for one.
Yeah, Van Hole going to
You know,
Vanderhole going to Mexico.
with his money, and then realizing he's not going to enjoy it because he.
How did he not turn?
Well, I'm going to guess.
How did he survive the nuke?
Well, because he was in the vault.
Yeah, but you know how much radiation is going to be in that scene? That's going to kill you the moment you step out.
That is true too. They ignore the fact that it was a nuclear bomb that dropped on Vegas. In fact, Vegas and half of Nevada would have been.
Is it because it was a low yield nuke, not radiated?
Maybe, but with him surviving and then slowly turning, they can probably say
But
the bite.
everyone else turned almost immediately.
Well, I think they're going to say the level of biting. It was barely a flesh wound. That can be their. I'm not saying that's.
It's not a good.
It's not a good
Excuse.
excuse, but that is a loophole they could get. It's like it hardly broke the skin where everybody else was. Their jaws were getting ripped off and muscle tissues being pulled out. This one was just a bite on the arm. Not saying that's the best way to go. Obviously, with this being a Netflix, it was, their streaming will dictate of how many people watch this film. We'll see.
No, it'll be up there.
Well, there's also, I know there's a prequel animation series that they approved called Prince of Thieves, or the Army of Thieves, and then they're something like that. It's not. I don't know if it's a sequel may truly happen, but they have other things in the universe that they plan on doing. So this is not the end. It may be the end of the actual film, but other stuff right now is where I'm going. So I'm still giving it a D. The plot holes, what we just talked about, the storyline trying to be serious but funny at the same time. Honestly, the lack of action too.
Well, the gore was okay, I
The
guess.
gore part, but you got Dave Bautista in there being an action person. Not that he can do other things, I'm not saying that, but in this film he was built to fight, and
Well, he really wasn't. I mean, he was just a guy flipping burgers at the beginning of the movie. But he did look cool when he was fighting, but you kind of wanted more.
right.
I
But
feel like they could have done more with the 2.5 hours. They could have done better.
a lot more.
Been more directed. Maybe just flip it on its head and make it a psychological movie.
That's too much thinking with Zack Snyder.
Or just go full Dead Rising and just have fun. And you got the chainsaw bits, and why did that guy bring his saw with him? Like, the saw feels like that's a weapon of, like, necessity, like you need it
We
at
can't
that
stop
moment.
talking about
not
how bad this movie
rough
is.
work.
Oh my god.
That couldn't be more. Why would you bring the saw with you? Like, if in the moment you need a weapon, so you grab that and you just go. That's not something you just run in the battle with.
Well, that is our review of
C minus.
D for me for Army of the Dead. Until next time.
Bye bye.